All right, so let's get started. Today, I am speaking with Marquet, and she is going to talk a little bit about her healthy lifestyle journey with you guys and give you some tips that are definitely necessary if you're thinking of pursuing a healthy lifestyle and don't quite know where to start, or if you've started and maybe you hit a plateau, these tips are going to help you as well. So, just to give you a little bit about myself, Marquette is actually one of the group members in my Facebook group, Nutrition, the number 4, Busy Women. And in that group, we have a lot of positive, like-minded women that continuously support and uplift each other. They're very motivating. People are in there posting their food that they eat, their workouts. They post and share different health resources from other pages. And it's just a very positive community. I haven't had anybody in the group that has been condescending to any other group members. So it's a wonderful place for you guys to be if you're looking for additional support. I help women not only locally. I am currently in Florida. I help women not only locally, but I also help them internationally and nationally as well. So if any of you need resources or support from me, I can help you as your virtual coach, and we can create whatever type of plan that works for you. Everybody is different. So you may have the same exact goal of losing, for example, 50 pounds as the person standing next to you, but because their lifestyle is set up differently, your plan may look a little different from that individual. So let's get started with learning a little bit about Marquette and her lifestyle. Marquette, tell us a little bit about what prompted you to even pursue a healthy lifestyle.
Well, I think, my story is pretty typical of most women. Prior to having my daughter, was very career focused and, felt like I had more time to work out and things like that. And then I went back to grad school. I got pregnant during my master's degree program. And I think the stress of, finishing the graduate program, being pregnant, my activity level, there just wasn't necessarily time, and working, full time. There wasn't a lot of time, I felt, to work out. So slowly the weight accumulated. I had my daughter in 2007. And I would say every year up to 2015, I was just slowly, gaining weight. And by 2014, by the end of 2014, I was the heaviest I had ever been, even heavier than what I was when I was pregnant. I was 298 pounds. And so I started feeling the effects of that. I was sore, I would get winded, just walking upstairs. My knees would hurt, my hips would hurt. I started feeling lightheaded a lot, which prompted me to go to the doctor. This was toward the end of 2014. And, she did the routine labs. My A1C was off the charts. So I had to start medication for diabetes, checking my blood sugar. And then my blood pressure became an issue. And so then I was on medications for my blood pressure. And my doctor was we had a pretty good relationship, and she was very forthcoming in that she really felt like if I lost weight, the issues would resolve. And I think, I didn't heed the warning, and as a nurse, I knew better. But I just felt like life was too busy, and, my priority was my daughter and my family and things like that. And so I kind of put myself last. And my last appointment with her at maybe November, December 2015, she actually was teary-eyed, really just kind of pleading. And as a nurse, you never really see that look in a doctor's face. So it really grabbed my attention that she was kind of taking that approach. And so she said, I need you to figure out what you're going to do by the next visit, which would have been January 2015, or my recommendation is going to be bariatric surgery. And then I panicked. I had taken care of bariatric surgery patients. And of course, when they're in the hospital, you're seeing the cases that don't go well. But so I had that fear, and talked with my husband at the time, and just decided, like most people do with the start of the new year, I'm going to start working out. And for years, that has been a resolution of mine, just like everybody else. And then by March, I'm like, okay, it's like faded, the love is faded. So I started off really slowly, and I was really apprehensive about going to the gym because I just felt like ashamed, So initially, I just started working out in the house. I just did DVDs. Went to Walmart and bought, lightweight dumbbells, resistance bands, and would do mostly the DVDs that I did then were like the Jillian Michaels DVDs. And those DVDs were very helpful. One, because I felt comfortable doing them at home. Two, because her methodology with training is to not train long, but just increase the intensity. So starting out, when you don't have a lot of endurance, you're not going to be able to necessarily make it an hour, doing, all this exercise. So it was kind of short enough that, I felt like I got a workout in and I was tired at the end. And slowly it got better. And then the other thing was really changing the way I ate. So, being busy, eating out a lot, fast food, or just grabbing whatever's quick. Of course, when you're tired, you don't make the best food choices. You crave more carbs and sugar and stuff like that. So really cooking more at home and taking food with me, for lunch, or as I was going to be out during the day. Granola bars, just stuff that I could throw in my bag or have in my car if I got hungry. So even if I was stuck in traffic, for example, going home, I had something to hold me over until I got home. And then I would not eat after maybe 8 or 9. I wouldn't eat. That would be kind of the end of eating. So that was kind of the first 3 months. And then I felt like I wanted to do something different. I do get bored quickly. And so I started going to a local gym and just doing the group classes. So Body Pump was a class that I did a lot, and I really liked it. And that's when I really kind of felt more comfortable with weightlifting. And even though the class was a slower pace, lighter weights, and more reps, I learned more about form and, just how to do certain exercises. And I would say that was around March. And then by April, I noticed one of the instructors of a high intensity cardio class that I took mentioned that they were going to start group training classes, and with one of the trainers at the gym. And I have always, my mentality regarding trainers was, it's a luxury, you don't necessarily need it. But I was kind of interested in, again, just kind of doing more with weight training, which was something they were focusing on, and cardio, which I knew I needed to integrate more as I was still trying to lose weight. So, and it was cheaper because it was a group class as opposed to having a one-on-one trainer. Mm-hmm. So I started doing that, and really started meeting really great people at the gym. We were all at different fitness levels. They were very encouraging. And I stuck with that for about a year. And every month, basically, or even week to week, the focus would change. So your body was constantly guessing, what was coming next. And so I started feeling more comfortable. I've always enjoyed running, and as the weight started coming off, I was able to run more. I did a couple of half marathons toward the end of 2015, and one of my goals was to do a Spartan race, and I was able to do that in September. So I felt like, you know, as the months progressed, I was getting stronger, and it became my motivation was never to look a certain way or fit in a certain outfit. It was, you know, I need to be around for my daughter, you know. And one thing my husband asked me at the time was, how do I explain to our daughter that you died because you can't control what you eat? And that perspective really even took it outside of myself. And, you know, how would that impact my family, being that it was something that was totally preventable? Um, so that always remained my motivation. And then over time, even with that, you know, the weight was coming off. Slowly, my doctor was able to take medications away. So that was encouraging. And those would be my goals. By, you know, my next appointment, I basically saw her every 3 months. By my next appointment, you know, my blood pressure will be better. Or, you know, she'll be able to hopefully decrease the dosage, or, you know, to gradually be able to take things away. So that was my motivation. And then looking forward, things like training for a half marathon or training for the Spartan would kind of keep me motivated. And in July of 2015, I did get a personal trainer for one-on-one training. And I think that experience really changed everything. That I really started to see the value in having a trainer. And that it wasn't just, oh, you know, this is what rich people do because they don't want to work out, you know, like I still had to do the work, but her focus was really teaching me some things, and that I would not need a trainer forever. Um, and getting me more comfortable with things that were out of my comfort zone, like, you know, doing pull-ups, or, you know, doing push-ups, or, you know, things that, you know, in some sessions she would say, well, just hang on the bars, like the monkey bars. But I think as a kid, you just jump on it and you swing across and you're done. And as an adult, she would say, I can actually see you like struggling in your head to tell yourself to move, you know, to the next rung. Like, you know, and so even that mind body connection started to really become important, that it wasn't just the act of doing the exercise, it was a whole mental shift about, you know, encouraging yourself and more positive self-talk, as opposed to, oh, I can't do it, or, oh, you know, this person over here is, you know, lifting 20 pounds and I can only lift 5. You know, it's just about being able to do better than you did the time before, even if it's one more rep, or, you know, you increase the weight, you know, and really focusing on those things. Again, not focusing on hitting a certain number on the scale. Of course, we had goals like decrease my body fat, decrease my weight, but more so focusing on the process of getting there, as opposed to fixating on the number. So that kind of carried me through 2015. And then by the end of 2015, I was down maybe 70 pounds or so. And then by spring of this year, 2016, I had lost 100 pounds total. And I kept working with my trainer up through April. She had went on vacation. I'm sorry, she had a baby and was on maternity leave. And I felt pretty confident without her, which was interesting because I thought I was going to be kind of nervous. But I felt pretty confident moving around the gym and still being really consistent. During that process, just figuring out different things as far as what I like to eat, when to eat, portion control, all those different strategies. I highly encourage you can go on Amazon and get the meal prep containers, and they're already pre-portioned with your protein, your carb, and your starch or your fat. So you kind of have a general idea of what your servings should be. And having food prepped in advance helps a ton, because then you don't have to worry about what you're going to eat, or, time to cook and things like that. So I highly encourage that. And then I decided maybe in April, maybe May-ish, that I wanted to do some more personal training. I really felt like, I think as women, we focus on lower body, right? So you see women in the gym all the time, and they're like squatting for days, and and lunging their hearts out, and nobody does anything upper body. And there's this perception that women just aren't strong upper body, and that's not true. And so my focus this time around with the trainer was upper body. So, and getting stronger. That was always a goal. So more bench presses, pull-ups, bicep curls. So it kept me, they were exercises I hadn't done before. So it was again a change to keep me motivated and keep my body guessing. And so we did that for a few months, and I kind of started, during this time, of course, I, had developed relationships with different people, and I noticed a lot of people were competing in different figure or bikini or physique competitions. And here in California, with Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of being the face of bodybuilding, this is kind of where it all started. So there's a lot of energy and activity around bodybuilding. And, there's always a show, whether somewhere in the state. And so a lot of activity around it and a lot of enthusiasts. So I started, I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to do that. My fear was, I don't want to make training so stringent and so strict that I don't enjoy it anymore. And so that was my biggest fear. And of course, looking at, these people when they hit the stage, I'm like, I'm sorry, I have booty and hips. Like, I'm not going to be able to do that, And so, but what I started to see was, we would just go from the gym to encourage people that were competing, just being a voice in the crowd, cheering them on when they stepped on stage. And I started to observe more, and then it became intriguing. And so I kind of played around with it, and then decided formally to compete in April of 2017 will be my first figure competition. And I tried to really just ask a lot of questions and just learn about the process, because it was all new, and found a coach that I think I really connected with, and she kind of walks the walk. So she's competed and can really speak to the experience. So this time, starting on the 1st of December, I started with my coach, and we're kind of training totally differently to start to prepare me for the competition in April. So the focus has shifted, much heavier weights, different tempos, different exercises, again, to just build muscles that I didn't know I had, and and just a whole different world, even as far as nutrition, and just getting better. It doesn't happen overnight, but just getting better with sticking with your diet. And I don't want to call it a diet, but just sticking with eating healthier, I do have a cheat meal once a week. And even now, people tell me I don't cheat properly because my cheat might be to have, the turkey burger with the bun versus I don't eat it with the bread. They're like, that's your cheat? And I'm like, yeah. Like, once you get to that point of eating a certain way, your body it doesn't handle eating a bunch of fast food, even if that's your cheat meal. So you don't even enjoy it because you're sick. So, even the things that you want to have on your cheat meal change. It's still more so on the healthier side, than probably what it was before. Um, so, during this process also, sometimes it feels lonely. Even though I knew people at the gym and they were always encouraging, I started to kind of fell into different Facebook groups. And as a mom, that was always a challenge. You feel guilty being away from the gym. Being away from home when your child is at home. And that's a lot of moms' rationale, like I don't want to be away from my child. But I really tried to keep the perspective of that she was a part of the motivation, and she also needed to see, I think I had demonstrated really well, how to be diligent academically and career-wise, but she needed to see more of a well-rounded picture as far as being a woman. And so I kind of just had to put that feeling of guilt aside. There's one particular group that was really helpful with that. It's called No Excuse Moms, and it's run by Maria Kang, Kang. And there's a Facebook group. It's a large community. There's individual groups in different states and cities that meet for group workouts with the kids. Some of the kids are in strollers. Some of the kids are toddlers and they're running around, but they're getting their workouts in with the kids. So basically no excuse. Some moms utilize the time when the little ones are sleeping. They get up and work out before their husband goes to work, just really eliminating the I can't and making it fit for your lifestyle. So that's a great group. Nicole Wilkins is a pretty well-known and established bodybuilder, but even if you're not, I followed her with no intention of being a bodybuilder, just from day one, just because her posts are motivating and encouraging. There's another trainer, her name's Anawa Adja. Her first name is Anowa, last name Adjah, and she's on Facebook and Instagram, and she has two small twin boys. Talks a lot about how to get your body back after having kids, which is, huge. And I bought her DVDs. Sometimes I would go to the gym and work out. Sometimes I would do the DVDs just to keep switching things up. So there's lots of resources. There's another Facebook group, Fit Parents Unleashed. There's Ebonie's group as well, Nutrition for Busy Moms. And then I stumbled onto Black Girls Run because I like to run. And found out there was a local chapter here. And so that's a great source of support as well. And I've been really active with that group and actually lead a group run once a week. And the mission of that group is just to get Black women more active so that we don't suffer these preventable, to some extent, diseases like hypertension and diabetes, and that we're just more active in our communities in demonstrating that. So that's another a great group. There's a national Facebook group, and then you can find a local chapter. And there's pretty much, there's quite a few chapters. Even on the West Coast, the hub is in Atlanta. So great resources there. And then I also like to look at women that are older that have a fit lifestyle. So I'm 36, and I think if I keep with what I'm doing, I won't necessarily look my age as I continue to age. There's a woman who's 63 years old. Her name is Ellen Ector. First name Ellen, Ellen, Ector, Ector. And she doesn't look 63. But she's a trainer, and her words are encouraging, motivating, and she and her daughter have released a DVD with several different types of workouts, different chapters, so to speak, and focus. And so you start to see that even age is not a factor. Because sometimes I'll see people in the gym and they'll say, I watch you and you're doing all these things, but you're young. And in many facets of life, I don't believe that age is a hindrance. And so you start where you are and you build your way up. Ellen Ector speaks a lot about not starting her fitness journey until she was in her 40s. So it doesn't, it's not like she's been working out her whole life. There's another woman, Ernestine Shepherd, out of Baltimore, who's the oldest female bodybuilder. She's in her 80s, and she looks nothing like it. She has a great book. And she actually didn't start her fitness journey until she was in her 50s. So it can be done no matter what age you are, no matter where you are. You just start small and you build up. And really, I guess the biggest advice I can give is hold on to your why. So don't make it about fitting into an outfit for an event. Don't make it about a certain number on the scale, because that number is deceptive. People never guess my weight correctly. And if you put me beside someone that weighs the same as I do, they will look completely different. So don't get fixated on that number or trying to look like someone else. Everybody's body is different, and you're just trying to be your best self. So your competitor is you. Do better than you did the day before. Or, like I said, be able to do one more rep than you were able to do before. But just really stay focused on your why and really adapting your lifestyle. The easy part, in my opinion, is going to the gym. It's making sure your lifestyle supports being able to go to the gym consistently and eating a certain way, and really supporting that change in your mindset. So there are times when I'm not able to go out and, just be Miss Social Butterfly because I know I need to sleep. Or, the dinner that's being held is unfortunately during my gym time, and my gym time is non-negotiable. So, so there are some times where you'll feel like you're making sacrifices, or you're tired and you just don't want to go that particular day, but you just have to keep at it and really not allow yourself to make excuses. My motivation now is just the fear of going back to where I started, and knowing, that it took over a year to even get to a place where I felt better. So I don't want to go back to that place. And now I'm just always curious to see what my body can do. So just really make that why about you, and something that you will be able to hold on to even in the times where you don't want to get up and work out, or you really want to go to McDonald's and not eat the food that you already prepped. So that's, I guess, my biggest advice is your why. I do believe in vision board. As my goals change, I make vision boards. I just made a vision board actually, and it's of course related to my competition in April. But I put it somewhere that, you know, I'll see it every day. Certain people that I admire. I have pictures on my refrigerator. I have motivational quotes as my screensaver on my phone, just to kind of always keep it in the front of your mind. I work nights, and of course, everybody loves to feed nurses. And so my struggle sometimes is, you know, at 2 a.m. when there's like a whole table full of cookies and cake and, you know, fried food and, you know, all these things that really do not serve me well, how to still be okay with eating my chicken and my carrots. So, so it's really just when I go to work, really telling myself, you are not going to eat anything that's not in your bag. So that becomes the mantra, and just really, you know, sticking it out. So I think even if you're further along in your journey, just really looking at how can I step it up, so that I don't get bored or plateau. Maybe it is taking on a trainer just to kind of take you to that next level, or deciding you're going to do a race, whether it's an obstacle race like a Spartan or Tough Mudder, or you're going to start running and your goal is a 5K. But start to set goals that will impact your training so that you're working towards that goal. Is the biggest advice that I can give when you're, you know, you've been at it for a while and you're just kind of starting to feel like you're going through the motions when you go to the gym. Or, you know, are you increasing your weight to make it more challenging for yourself? Because the body will adapt and you won't see change. And that is a motivator, you know, when you look in the mirror and you start to see physical change. So you have to keep switching it up to keep your body guessing. I am a registered nurse, but I have decided to obtain my personal trainer certification. And a lot of that is based on the experience that I had with my trainer. Just really feeling like she didn't just focus on what we did in the gym, but just all aspects of my life. So was I getting enough rest? Was I drinking enough water? You know, was I prepping? Did I prep my meals? How was I feeling emotionally? I had a lot going on toward the end of 2015, just as far as my marriage and ultimately going through a divorce. And so I felt open. We had a relationship that she cultivated where I felt like I could tell her what was going on. And that was factored into how we trained, when we trained. Sometimes we would train in the morning, sometimes we would train in the evening, just really making it so that it worked and that I didn't give up. Because I started to really feel accountable to her. Like, I know she's blocked off this time with me, you know, to work out, and so I can't not show up. Or, you know, she's so invested in seeing me win that, you know, even though I want to stop at 10, I got to push out those extra 2 reps, you know. So it really takes the focus out of you and having some accountability. I tell a lot of people, and I've offered to be their accountability partner. You don't have to live near me. I don't have to know you, like we don't have to be best friends, but having somebody to say, oh, I know I have to message Marquette on Facebook and tell her that I did my workout. or that, you know, I stuck to my meal plan for the week. And so I, you know, always encourage people to reach out. My Facebook handle is Tyese Johnson, Tyese Johnson, my first and last name. My Instagram handle is at QUETTY80.
One more time.
At QUETTY80 on Instagram. And I, you know, am just always looking for and following, encouraging people, and seeing their journey motivates me. And I've learned that talking about my journey motivates other people that maybe don't feel like they can do it, that battle those challenges that we have as women, to be the good wife, the good mom, the good sister, the good daughter, and we put ourselves second. So showing that you can still do those things, I think I'm a better mom and a better Marquette because I have that 2 hours to myself every day, you know, to, you know, throw weights around and take out the frustration or just enjoy the workout. So it can be done, and women are doing it. And luckily, you know, being fit and being healthy is in style now. So, you know, women lifting weights is sexy now. So, you know, it's a good time, and it's no matter where you are, you don't have to wait till January 1st. And I've posted that a few times on my page. If you feel so inclined that, you know, you are ready to make a change, then do it. It doesn't matter if it's Thursday, you don't need to wait till Monday. It doesn't matter if it's December 8th, you know, you can not wait till January 1st. That's kind of, you have to have that attitude of, I'm ready and I'm going to do it now. And you don't need to wait for a certain date or a certain time or, you know, whatever. Just start and just start. It will get better. Is my, you know, my biggest message. And again, your why. Really hold on to that.
Thank you. Marquette, you touched on a lot of different topics and the mental processes that go along with living a healthy lifestyle. And I think for many people, they assume that, oh, I'm going to need to start eating cucumbers and radish all day, every day, and going to the gym sucks, but I guess I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. And this is the torture of my life. And as you guys have heard Marquette say, you know, it started off one way and it actually developed into something that she enjoys doing, to the point that she's a registered nurse, but she's going for her certification to be a personal trainer. So this is something that I'm sure several years ago someone told her that she's going to be competing in a bodybuilding competition and she's going to be going to the gym 2 hours a day, working on her personal training certification, she probably would laugh, kind of like what she just did.
Right.
So you never know the person that you develop into. Marquette, real quickly, in about like a minute or less, what can you suggest to people that say, well, you know, I'm 200 pounds overweight and I'm happy with the way I look. That's great that you want to go to the gym and eat healthy, but I'm all about body positive and I'm good. Thanks, but no thanks. What do you say to those people?
I was that person. Oh, you know, my man likes my curves. You know, we throw that term around. I love my body, blah, blah, blah. And my biggest message is continue to love your body while you're changing your body. So love the body you have as you're changing to be the better version of yourself. And it's not about the look or having curves. It's about being healthy. and how that impacts the world you live in, the people around you. We don't live in a bubble. So continue to love your body. Do not feel as though you hate your body. Come to appreciate that even being 200 pounds overweight, you're still able to get up and walk. Or, you know, that you maybe don't have diabetes or hypertension. However, taking on more of a healthy lifestyle will prevent that from happening for you, because it's just a matter of time. So I think body positive, those positive messages that we think and send to our body are important, and to love yourself through the process. It's not a punishment. It's not a bad thing. It's just a new thing and getting out of your comfort zone.
Thank you. And tell us just a little bit about what you like to do outside of fitness, because I know your world is not all about nutrition and fitness and taking care of patients in the hospital.
Right.
So what are some other, in like a minute or less, what are some other things that you enjoy outside of that?
So, right. I actually have always been an avid reader. So I like to read. I will say I read a lot more, I think, motivational type material now. I think I've focused more on all of me and not just the working out part. So, you know, meditation. I enjoy spending time with my daughter. She's 9. She keeps me busy. Watching movies. And I think just continually thinking of how I can make life better. Not necessarily being rich financially, but having more positive experiences. Whether that's with my daughter or with myself or with friends. I also have a brokering business that I, try to focus some time to. If you're interested, it's telecommunications, so things we use all the time: internet, cell phone, cable, and even in some states, gas and electricity. My storefront that I have is www.marquet, marquet.johnson@acndirect.com. And so I can also be reached by email, Marquet, MARQUETJ @cox.net.
Okay. And I will drop both of those in the comments for anyone that couldn't write it down quickly enough. It's going to be in the comments. And what I would love is for you guys to also comment on this particular video so that you can show her some love, because it's not easy to lose 100 pounds. Many people have been trying to lose the same 15 pounds for the last 15 years. And she's managed 100 pounds in almost like no time at all. When you look at it in the grand scheme of things, in the big picture of her life, it's really in no time at all. Guys, I really do appreciate you taking the time to listen to her interview. And Marquet, thank you so much for taking the time to listen and really hone in on what your major pain points were also during your journey, because I believe that many people assume that because you're fit and you're healthy, that it's an easy process for you. Because you make it look easy, and it's not always easy. You develop a mindset of consistency and dedication, and as you said, you know your why. When you don't know your why, and when you don't have a strong support system, you are much less likely to carry through. Mm-hmm. So as I'm working with women, we consistently go back to what is your why. So you had a bad day. You ate a whole red velvet cake. That's my favorite, red velvet cake. So you ate a whole red velvet cake. Great. Let's not cry over spilled milk. What are we going to do from this point on so that we can, one, recognize what your triggers are, and number two, get to your eventual goal. It's not all golden, essentially. I appreciate you sharing with us your challenges along the way, in addition to your success. Anything else that you would like to share real quickly in about 30 seconds or less before we go?
I think the biggest thing is kind of just piggybacking onto what you said. The time will pass anyway, whether you are doing something positive or negative, and that's in all aspects of life. That same year is going to pass, and you don't want to look back. I'm all about not looking back and having regrets. I don't want to be the elderly woman who can't enjoy life because I have so many regrets that I didn't at least try. So again, that time is going to pass anyway.
Thank you. I appreciate your time, and you guys are listening to the interview. I appreciate your time as well. And you guys have a wonderful rest of the day.